Hello everyone and welcome to a new video on the channel. In today's video I'm going to be continuing to show off my Blu-ray collection. I believe we got to the middle of the B's, so I'll just get straight back into it. So first up we have Big Fish. Now this is a Tim Burton film, and I want to say this was just when we went into lockdown that I first watched this, on Amazon. I think it was on Amazon Prime, and I wasn't a big fan of Tim Burton before. I thought he was quite an overrated director and just didn't see why people really enjoyed his films. And then, I don't know which I watched first. It was either this or Edward Scissorhands, but I just fell in love with his style of directing. They're both two of my favourite films now. This stars Ewan McGregor, who basically is telling his life from his the older version of himself, is basically telling him his life. That didn't make sense. Albert Finney basically plays the older version of him, and he's basically telling his son what happened, like about his life basically, but it's very unbelievable. But it's just a beautiful film, just really good, just a lovely, heartwarming film. Great performances all around, specifically from Ewan McGregor and Albert Finney. This is probably my favourite Tim Burton film. In fact, I would definitely say it is over Batman, which is my favourite comic book film. This is definitely top 30 favourite films of all time. And if you've not seen Big Fish, I highly recommend it because it's a great film and it's just a really beautiful ending as well. So yeah, that is Big Fish. Next up we have what I feel is quite an underrated rom-com, which is also based on a true story, based on the main actor's true story, like his life, and that is The Big Sick, starring Kumail Nanciani, obviously about how he met his wife, in this played by Zoe Kazan, and her parents are played by Holly Hunter and Ray Romano, who are absolutely fantastic in this film. Again, this is a very heartwarming film, just a really lovely, it's got laughs in it, but it's also got a lot of heart to it. There is some serious bits in it, there are bits that make you laugh out loud, and overall I think this is a highly underrated film, and I think this is Kumail Nanjiani's best film that he's done to date, so highly recommend that if you are into those types of films. And next up we have one which I got in the collection last year. I had already seen it but didn't remember anything about it, so watched it again last year and I actually really loved it, and that is Birdman, or The Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance, starring Michael Keaton. This is a really good film, but I feel that this is one of the films that if you don't get it, you're not going to like it, and it's one of those that sometimes you just won't get because it is that type of film, or you do, and it's got a great ending because it's quite out there, and it is quite an out there film. It's basically about this man that he's best known for playing Birdman, a big superhero, years ago, and he's coming back and he's like basically doing this off Broadway, or it might even be on Broadway, Broadway show that he's financing himself, using obviously the money that he made from the Birdman films, and it's just about him grappling to terms with like trying to separate his life from Birdman and himself. And I just really liked it. Thought Michael Keaton, this is probably his best performance, either this or Spotlight, and it's just a fantastic film, I think, so definitely recommend Birdman. Next up, definitely my favourite Sandra Bullock film and her best film to date. I think this is like at her peak of success, and I don't think she will ever get as good as she was in this film again, and that is The Blind Side, based on the true story about, I want to say his name's Michael, it doesn't say on the back, but I'm pretty sure his name's Michael, and she plays Leanne Tui, who basically takes him in. He's like he's not on the streets, but he's not, his mum's like, I think she's a druggie from what I remember, and she basically, Sandra Bullock, who plays Leanne, basically takes him under her wing and basically adopts him as a child, It's just a lovely film based on a true story. As I say, definitely Sandra Bullock's best performance. She won the Oscar for it in 2009. So if you've not seen this film, if you're not a fan of Sandra Bullock because of the other films you've seen, I definitely highly recommend you to watch this if you've not, because it may change your mind. This is the film that made me just absolutely love Sandra Bullock. I love most of the stuff she's done. That's just me. But yeah, that is The Blind Side. Highly recommend that. Next up we have Blood Diamond, which is Leonardo DiCaprio, and he's basically looking for this blood diamond that has been hidden, and there's this, he's like a fisherman, I think, if I remember rightly, and he was kidnapped by like the militia in Sierra Leone in the late 90s, and basically forced to try and find this, and he did find it, and he hid it, and he's going back to try and find his family who were taken, and Leonardo DiCaprio is like a mercenary of sorts that is like he's like a smuggler mercenary that is basically helps him, and Jennifer Connelly plays a journalist who tags along. Really good film. Not great. It's long. It's very long. But it's a really interesting story, and I think Leonardo DiCaprio is excellent in it. He's got a bit of a dodgy, I think it's like a South African accent, but yeah, I really enjoyed that. Unfortunately, I got the cover reprinted, but I got it because it was a film I really wanted to watch. So yeah, that is Blood Diamond. Next up, we have Blue Velvet, which is the first and only David Lynch film I have seen, and it's definitely a weird film. It's one that I cannot personally see myself going back to loads of times, because it is a very hard watch because of the subject matter. It's very weird. Definitely you have to like these types of films, and I did really appreciate this film. I wouldn't say I enjoyed it, because I don't think that's the correct word to use for this film, but I will say I found it interesting, and it is one, as I said, I will watch again, but I cannot see myself going and watching this over and over again because of what it is. But it is like a cult film, so I do recommend watching it if you haven't seen it. And next up, another Leonardo DiCaprio film, and this is Body of Lies, which also stars Russell Crowe and is directed by Ridley Scott. This was okay. This is middle of the road, I would say. Not great, but not bad. It's like about the CIA, and like they have like this big surveillance thing to try and get a hold of terrorist attacks, stop them from happening. And basically Leonardo DiCaprio plays the man on the ground, so he's like the one like on the ground, not like the drone, so he tries to basically stay ahead of all of these attacks. And Russell Crowe, I believe, plays his handler, that basically tells him what to do, and it gets a bit out of hand, and yeah, things start happening, but I can't remember too much about this film. I remember it being okay, as I say. It wasn't a standout film, but it was okay. It is one I will get back to in a few years, but yeah, it was just okay, I think. Next up, we have The Bone Collector with Denzel Washington and Angelina Jolie. This was a really good film. They did do like a remake TV series a few years ago, but that didn't really get off the ground, and I didn't think it was that great. But this is a really good like cop thriller, cat and mouse chase type film from the late 90s, basically about this detective, and he was in a freak accident. I think he was shot on the job or something along those lines, or crushed. I can't remember exactly. And he can't walk, he's basically paralysed and bedbound, and there's this notorious serial killer called the Bone Collector that has come back again after years away, and he originally was the one that was on the case. In fact, it may have been that case that paralysed him, and he's basically in his bed, but he's got this technology that allows him to like see everything in the field, and he enlists Angelina Jolie, who plays like a rookie cop, to basically be his eyes and go and help him solve who the Bone Collector is. And it's just a really enjoyable thriller, as I say. So that's the Bone Collector. Next up, we have one of my favourite films of all time, definitely a top 10 film, and that is Boogie Nights. If you've not seen this film, it's one that I can definitely highly recommend. It's basically about how like the rise of the porn industry in the San Fernando Valley in the 1970s, and it's got drugs, obviously sex, there's violence in it. It's a really good film, great performance from Mark Wahlberg and Burt Reynolds, who was nominated for the Oscar for this. Also Julianne Moore, also nominated for an Oscar, she was great in this. And it's just one of those films that I just fell in love with, just the atmosphere of the film. I just think Paul Thomas Anderson is a fantastic director. He really knows how to like stick you into a certain time period, and he does this very successfully in this film, so highly recommend Boogie Nights. This is going to be quite slow, as I can see. I've only just got through these and it's 10, so I will try and hurry up, but I do like to give my thoughts on each film. Next up we have Book Club. This was a fun film. It's like a romantic comedy for the older generation about 4 friends who want something new in their lives. So when they're during their book club, they decide to all read 50 Shades of Grey, and it like kind of reinvigorates their lives and love lives and introduces them to new romances. You've got absolutely, this is one of the best like ensemble cast of like the older generation of actors for a long time. You've got Diane Keaton, Jane Fonda, Candice Bergen, Mary Steenburgen, Andy Garcia, Don Johnson, Craig T. Nelson, and Richard Dreyfuss, and it is just a really fun film, really nice film, so highly recommend that. And then we have The Brave One, which is a thriller starring Jodie Foster. Then we have Bridesmaids, fantastic comedy. We have Bridge to Terabithia. If you don't cry in this film, yeah, it's just a very sad film, but very good film. Not too long. Yeah, very good film that is. Then we have probably my favourite Meryl Streep film, and that is The Bridges of Madison County. This is the German import. I don't think it does. No, it doesn't have alternate artwork, unfortunately. If you've not seen this, very good. It's like an older generation, like romantic drama about this like photographer for National Geographic, and he's basically doing an article on bridges in Madison County, hence the title. And he meets Meryl Streep's character, who I think she's an Austrian or German housewife, and her family had basically gone to this show for the weekend, and it's over the weekend them falling in love. And yeah, it's just a really, really great film with some great dialogue. And then I'll show all these together because it might as well make sense. Got Bridget Jones' Diary, The Edge of Reason, and Bridget Jones' Baby. First one, fantastic. It was just a really, really enjoyable film. Same goes for the second one, and the third one, even though it's quite a long time since the last one, still really works. Altogether, they're a really good trilogy. I would be interested in seeing another one, because I know there is another book, just to see what it's like, because obviously you find something at the end of the third one which kind of sets it up for another one. But I don't know, but yeah, they are really good films if you're into those types of films. Next up is a film, again, it makes me cry every time I watch it. That is The Bucket List, with Morgan Freeman and Jack Nicholson. Basically play these two retirees that are towards the end of their life. They both have cancer, and they decide to go together and do a bucket list around the world together, and they don't really get on with each other, but Jack Nicholson basically, I think he owns the hospital, and he takes Morgan Freeman along with him, and they become really close friends, and it's just really good, funny, heartwarming, very touching film, and yeah, really love The Bucket List. And then we have Buster. Obviously gonna have this film. I love Phil Collins, really good film. Yeah, Buster. Moving on, I think it's this pile next. We have The Call of the Wild, with, well, it says Harrison Ford, but he's only in it for like half an hour, which is a bit of misadvertising. It is more about the dog, which isn't even really a dog, he's CGI. But it was a fun film. I enjoyed it when I saw it at the cinema. It is a remake, if I am correct. I think the original had like Clark Gable in, or someone like that. Old film. But yeah, I will watch this again because I thought it was quite a good time at the cinema when I saw it. Then we have Cape Fear, really good Martin Scorsese like stalker thriller. Catch Me If You Can, two of the greats teaming up for a film together, plus Steven Spielberg, possibly the best director of all time in general terms. Yeah, really great film. Charlie St. Cloud, really underrated romantic drama, which I watched for the first time start of the year, I think. Definitely recommend that one. Then we have Chinatown, which is definitely a cult classic that opened the gates to a lot of films like that were influenced by this film. Jack Nicholson, fantastic in this. Faye Dunaway is also really good in this. Yeah, really recommend that one. Then we have City of Angels, Nicolas Cage, Meg Ryan, really good chemistry together. Nicolas Cage plays an angel that wants to become human because he's in love with Meg Ryan's character. Yeah, really good film. Then we have Click, underrated Adam Sandler film, really enjoy it. Dabbles with time travel, Christopher Walken's in it as well. Yeah, really like Click. Then I'll show these two together. We have Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs and Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2. Really good first film. I don't have a huge amount of animation in my collection anymore, but I did watch this a lot growing up and remember really liking it, so I have kept this in the collection. And I thought the sequel was a pretty decent sequel as well. Then we have Clueless, which I only watched for the first time last year, but really enjoyed it. It is a cult classic from the 90s. Alicia Silverstone's really good. And it's just, yeah, Paul Rudd in this as well. Probably very, very early role for him. But yeah, really enjoyed Clueless. Then we have Clator Beauty, another really underrated Will Smith film. I know a lot of people don't like this, but I just absolutely love this film and everything about it, so highly recommend that if you've not seen it. Then we have Contact, a really good alien contact film with Jodie Foster and Matthew McConaughey, directed by Robert Zemeckis. Then we have Conspiracy Theory, Julia Roberts, Mel Gibson teaming up, great. Richard Donner directed it, Patrick Stewart's the villain, just a really underrated thriller in my opinion. Moving on, we have Constantine, Keanu Reeves. It was quite good, not amazing, but it was interesting. I enjoyed it. It was quite dark, and overall was entertaining, as I say. Then we have Cockland, very underrated cop thriller with Sylvester Stallone in one of his best, I think overall as films go, this is probably one of his best films. This was written and directed by James Mangold. Also has a great supporting cast. You've got Robert De Niro, Harvey Keitel, yeah, Ray Liotta. There's loads of other people in this. Robert Patrick. Yeah, it's just a really enjoyable film, so definitely recommend that one. Then we have The Courier with Benedict Cumberbatch. Yeah, was a fun film from last year. Interesting. Sorry, get my words out. I picked it up cheap. I think it was only £10. So yeah, we'll be giving this a watch again in the future. Then we have Cowboys and Aliens. I'm just going to zip through some of these. Crazy Stupid Love, fantastic film. Creed 2. Criminal, highly underrated. Crimson Tide, really great submarine film. Cry Macho, I was in the minority in enjoying this, thought it was a good Clint Eastwood film. And then we have Curious Case of Benjamin Button, favourite Brad Pitt film. Right, moving on. This pile next. We have Dad's Army, the film, highly enjoyable. Dallas Buyers Club, great film. Dark Shadows, really guilty pleasure Tim Burton film. Day After Tomorrow, fantastic disaster film. Dead Man Walking, thought it was okay. Death of Stalin, need to rewatch but remember enjoying it. The Departed, great crime mob thriller. Deja Vu, highly underrated Denzel Washington time travel type film. The Descendants, really good George Clooney film. Die Hard, classic. Dirty Dancing, one of my favourite films. Doctor Sleep. Downton Abbey, the movie. Dreamgirls, fantastic, one of my favourite musicals. Due Date, really great comedy. Dunkirk, really good war film. Then we have Eagle Eye, highly underrated, high-tech thriller of sorts, really good Shia LaBeouf film. And then you have Eat, Pray, Love, again, really good Julia Roberts film based on a true story. Yeah, definitely recommend that one. It's over. Last pile. And then I might just do another video after that, so they're not too long. We have Eddie the Eagle, really good true story, Taron Egerton. This was probably the second thing he did, like after Kingsman. Hugh Jackman as well, always like when Hugh Jackman turns up in films like this. Yeah, really good film. And then we have Edward Scissorhands, as I say, really enjoy this one. Elf, one of my favourite Christmas films. Elysium, quite a good Matt Damon sci-fi film. Enemy of the State, really good like conspiracy thriller with Will Smith. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, again one of my favourite films ever. Jim Carrey, Kate Winslet. Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close, Sandra Bullock, Tom Hanks, really good film. Highly recommend this. Really quite like just a really good story, and yeah, I just really enjoyed this one. Then we have Face Off, The Family, good mob film. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, pretty good follow-up to Harry Potter. And then The Crimes of Grindelwald, which is not very good, let's be honest. Then we have Fantastic Mr. Fox, probably my second favourite Wes Anderson film. The Father, it was the best performance from last year by Anthony Hopkins. He did win the Oscar, obviously, for it, and I just think this was underrated. I'm pretty sure I put this in my honourable mentions from last year as well. The Fault in Our Stars, really good teen romantic drama. And the final one, The Favourite. I did see this in the cinema and I thought it was okay, but I'll rewatch it again, might like it more on a rewatch. And that is it for this video. I will stop the video now and finish it here, and I will make another video, and then what I'm gonna do, I'll just say my plans in this video, because this video will be going up next Friday. So this is Saturday the 12th when I'm recording this, so this will go up on the 18th, purely because it's difficult me filming things, so I'm trying to film a load of videos now whilst I've got free time. I purposely have not done a review video just so I can record loads all in once, like all in one go for different weeks, and then schedule them so you've definitely got something every week, and I don't have to always do a video, so I can do them all in one day sometimes. Just works out easier that way, and you still get to see all of my collection and see every film that I've watched in the weeks. Just an easier way of doing things, I think. But yeah, that is it. If you like the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If for some reason you didn't like the video, I would say dislike it as usual, but as I say, I think I said a few videos ago, I don't think the dislike button works anymore. I don't know. But subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and turn your notification bell on so you know when I have a new video uploaded onto the channel. Don't forget to comment down below anything and everything. I get back to anyone that takes the time to leave me a comment. What films here have you seen? Are there any that you haven't seen that you will now go off of my recommendation? There are a lot of great films in this section of the collection, I think. A lot that I need to rewatch, but yeah, let me know anything down below. And that's it. So until next time, everyone, take care. Goodbye.